theme this year for the show is Connect with Opportunity. And I think that this show will drive the message home, and you'll see all of the workflow solutions and just the business development tools that we have in connecting with opportunity. So you're going to hear more about what we're doing from the technology standpoint, how we're working with our customers, how our technologies and our workflows are moving forward this whole new business of printing, this new business of communication. Quincy is going to talk to one of our best customers, Neville Baird of Chicago's Magnet Street, which recently installed 2 iGen 4s. So 1 installed, 1 coming any minute now, and comes at the printing industry from a slightly different point of view, so you'll be able to hear a little different twist on it from the traditional view. And I'll let Quincy take it from here.
As Ursula said, we're here with Neville Baird, and Neville's business is called Magnet Street. I sat next to Neville last night at the Pixie Awards, and one interesting thing about Neville, he has 130 employees in his shop, but he has 17 different languages. So he produces refrigerator magnets, but I said he's a magnet also for a diverse employee population also. So Neville has a background in real estate, and he started in sales, marketing, and I think management training. So the first thing we're going to do 3 things. Talk to him about the graphics communications environment, the survey a little. Neville's going to give us a little about the survey that Ursula talked about. And then third, why he purchased the iGen 4 and how he's actually using that in his business. So the first question I'll start with, Neville, is you're in the real estate industry and then you got into digital printing. How did that happen?
How we moved from that transition in real estate training, sales training throughout the United States and Canada. I happened to be in Louisville, Kentucky, speaking for a real estate firm there, and living out of a suitcase is not fun. That was my life, and I decided that day on the way home, I called my wife and I said, Peggy, this is the end. She said, the end? I said, I just can't go on living out of a suitcase. At the end of the year, we're not going to be involved anymore in sales and training. She said, well, what are you going to do? I said, I don't know. I'll think about it on the way home. Driving home, I used to teach a seminar on the importance of name recognition, Xerox, so on. The importance of recognition. And I knew then that if it was possible, and this is 1991, I knew that if I could produce a magnet in small quantities, at fair price, full color, that it would be successful. The problem was I didn't know how to do it. 1993 came along, and it was still in the back of my mind, magnets, small quantity, full color, fair price. Everybody I talked to said it can't be done. You can't do small quantities and do it at a fair price. Being from Ireland, I realized that that my stubbornness was such that we would be able to do it. And to cut a long story short, after many people had told me it couldn't be done, I met one person that said he could do the die cutting. And we took it from there, and for the next few years, we actually outsourced everything to do with a magnet, to the degree that it was not as cost effective as we really wished it would be. And then one day, I made a phone call. I made a phone call to Xerox. I asked them about digital printing, and the rest is history. But you need to know a little about that history, because when I looked at the 6060, I realized it wouldn't do exactly what we wanted. But someone mentioned the name, or the iGen 3. I had never heard of an iGen 3. I had no idea what it was, but I was willing to look. And as a result of that, we installed 2 iGen 3s and recently accepted our first iGen 4 with the second one on the way. As our IT department looked at it, Quincy, the digital printing was exactly where we wanted to be. And as I said, we knew nothing about digital printing or presses, but I want to say this. The transition from nothing to the digital with Xerox. And I say that's not to placate Xerox, but I could say it was a very, very seamless transition. And the support that we received from the engineers was incredible. I went to Rochester and I talked to the engineers there, and I was convinced then that we had the support behind us that we needed. And we came back to Wheaton, where our headquarters is, and we began the process. But the diamond in the rough for us as a company, and we're always looking to what the huge market is with the small quantities. And we've come up with what we believe is a winner.
So related to that growth, you were one of the first customers in the United States to get to iGen 4. So relate the growth to your purchase of the iGen 4. What do you think it's going to do for you?
Well, there again, the reason we sent 5 of our people to Drupa last year to see what the new technology was, and quite frankly, that's the secret of our success, is trying to keep ahead of the technology, or at least along with it. And they came back from Drupa saying that as far as the quality, even the improvements that they saw between even the iGen 3, which was excellent, to the iGen 4 was exactly what we wanted. Because, you know, when you think of magnets, you don't think of high quality. This is not Madison Avenue. This is not something that's going out in huge markets. It's very simple. But it's interesting that moms and dads and new brides and so on, they like to see nice pictures, and they like to see facial tones. And the one thing that we saw an incredible advantage to us was the facial tones in the iGen 4 and the quality of the 4. The other thing that we experienced was the increased productivity. We have less setup time in the mornings. We have more productivity time during the day. And consequently, our return, because our investment was actually a slightly more on a lease basis, but we calculated that in 2 or 3 days in the month, we would offset all of our costs, extra costs. So to us, it was a big plus.
Good. Ursula also talked about, everybody knows that these are tough economic times. So how did you go about the justification of a purchase of an iGen in these tough, challenging economic times?
That's an excellent question. And you know, the economy is something that's on all of our minds. Magnet Street is not putting our head in the sand and saying it doesn't exist. We just have elected that we will not participate. And so as a result, we have looked ahead as to where can we go with our printing, where can we go with what we offer our customers and our clients, and we're always looking not for tomorrow, but we're looking years ahead. So for us, it was a no-brainer. Going to the iGen 4, and even in this economic crisis that we all seem to be faced in, we found it to be a great advantage. And I say, even to some of my printing friends, this is the time when you should be advancing the costs, not to sit back and say, wow, one day we'll be back to where we were. Maybe 2 years from now, things will be better. I can tell you that when I was in the real estate industry, and right here in Chicago, a real estate firm on the northwest side, whenever the crisis came in 1970, 79, 80, and 81, this real estate firm, rather than drawing back, they went forward, and they purchased the companies that were going under or were folding. And when the market turned around, they were set and ready to go. And honestly, that's where we have targeted ourselves as a company. We're poised and ready to go. This is a time of opportunity, not a time of sitting back and saying, woe is me. So I would encourage all my friends that this is the time actually to be out on the forefront.
I think that's going to be it. Thanks everyone for coming. Good job, Neville.